I've been telling people for this from jump. Americans do not know shit about how to immigrate. Like, even the lawyers, goddammit, Americans don't know shit about their immigration system. They talk about immigrants till they blue in the face, undocumented this, illegals this, nonsense. Meanwhile, the actual majority of undocumented immigrants in America are visa overstays because you have a ridiculous fucking immigration system and it's ass on both. I've been in America for 15 fucking years. I came here when I was 14, just about to turn 15. I'm turning 30 in July. I don't even have a fucking green card. Because you know why? Because I'm only just now even becoming, you know what I had to do? Okay, I had to become a public figure to become even in the realm of being able to apply for something. So no, the Democrats are just as fucking bad. They're like just as bad. The level of racism, and don't get me started. It's very specific. Like, people have no idea how like clearly racist it is. It's like certain countries you will just be ineligible. Oh, you're from this country? Oh, you're from the Bahamas? You're from these black countries or whatever? Nope. But you from Canada? You're from Australia? Special, literal special visa, special thing, special deal. Oh, you're good from the white country. They literally do that. Oh, certain countries, India has like a fucking 10-year backlog. Like it literally varies. We were in different preference groups. Certain countries that completely just eliminate. No criteria other than that black ass country. No, fuck that. It's not a coincidence. You don't hear that. You don't hear them. Where's the quote on Australia? Where's the quote on Britain and Canada? No. Listen, don't get me started. Do not get me started, because that almost blew my high to come up here and tell y'all, because I literally think about all the years of my life I would never get back from U.S. immigration, pulling you incredibly hard. It's unbelievable. It's unfucking believable. Ungoddamn believable what you have to do to be able to stay in this country lawfully. Unnavigable, fucked up, stupid ass fucking system. Bullshit.
And then Republicans and
then people say shit like, why don't you just apply for citizenship? Oh, you can pass the test. I'd apply if I could. You can't apply. You can't fucking apply. Yo, do y'all know when I got denied for a visa in 2019? They told me I meet the standards of an extraordinary alien, an extraordinary alien with an advanced degree, with a profession as a lawyer that is of substantial merit. But my desire to represent the poor and indigent is not of national interest to the United States of America. So denied, bitch. Like, as a public listen, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. U.S. immigration, tough. Yes, the Democrats are just as bad, as fucking bad. Just as goddamn bad. I'm just as bad. It's just, like I said, that's why I keep saying what it is. The real disagreement between the good whites and the bad whites is how they present. I'm telling you, that's what it is. The real problem they have is that the Republicans are out here just acting a goddamn fool, not hiding it, not doing no nice theatrics. You're supposed to make it cute. You notice why in Get Out, they're all liberals, right? They're all Democrats. They're all Democrats in Get Out. They're all fucking Democrats. But, they do all their wicked shit palatably. That's the real problem. Is why are you parading these pictures at the border? Why are you showing it to the people? Why are you creating a fanfare around it? You were supposed to do all this wicked shit quietly in the night and then just spread misinformation and propaganda about immigration in general, so that the whole country is misinformed in general, to have this whole fucked up idea that's real xenophobic. That's what they want it to be. Child, don't get me started. And rant.
Well, that was a beautiful rant, by the way. But what's so fucked up is that no matter what, the Biden administration has been as ruthless to immigrants as Trump, but Republicans still say that he has open borders. Like, when Biden came in, the borders just opened up like that. It's such bullshit, because I think that even Ronald Reagan, he gave amnesty to millions of immigrants. Today, he would be too far left for the Democratic Party, which just shows you how far this conversation has moved to the right.
Fucking Melania Trump was a visa overstay. Let's start there. Yes, a visa overstay who was working. Do you know how infuriating that is? To see, how infuriating that is, because it just makes it so clear what it always is about, and it really just is about race, and that's all it's ever about. Because you know what it is to watch this man, you have all this xenophobia and all this anti-immigrant message dispute. Meanwhile, your wife is an immigrant. Your wife is somebody who violated the terms of what it is, who very much so would fall into your undocumented, when she's a visa overstay, all this. She's working, she's doing all these things, but it's not a problem, and it's not a problem for anybody in the base. And this person is going to sit up there there, because what it really is keep black and brown immigrants. That's all it's really about. It's infuriating, son. Like that they lie. It's the gas. Like I say, they practice the politics of gaslighting. They pretend like, oh, it's all this and do it this. And also something I need for people to generally understand about immigration. Nobody wants to be in a country as a second class citizen. Nobody. There is nobody that has the ability to apply to become a citizen or to have a work visa or a green card or these things the lawful way, and they are just choosing not to do it. They are literally not eligible. That is what America's immigration system. Not only one have they created an immigration system that mirrors a criminal system that doesn't need to, because I know it's hard to think about it because that's all you ever see is a world where they detain people and that doesn't make sense. Why are people becoming criminalized based on what should just be this is paperwork. This is immigration stuff. It doesn't have to be a criminal situation, but they make it that, and they make it that for specific populations, because you ain't never seen no bunch of Italians at the border or being in no detention images or blah blah blah, or heard about a large what you don't hear that. You don't hear that. But you hear but whenever you see these pictures, they can't wait to show all these pictures of the Haitians being chased on horseback and being whipped, and all kind of Hispanic people in cages and stuff, because that's what it really is about, is keeping these specific populations out. And meanwhile, they up there talking mess. And to Dark Stars, girl, take a breath. No. There, I'm done.
Just to bolster what you're saying, so I'm not sure what percentage of undocumented immigrants this counts for, but there's approximately 60,000 Canadians currently living undocumented in the U.S. Like, there's you know what I mean? There's very little discussion about that, interestingly. No wall on the border of Canada to keep the Canadians out. It's a very focused discussion.
Yeah, no, very, very much so. And they paint it as though people are just choosing, like people just don't want to do it the legal way, you know. And Americans really think that, because when there've been times where, like I said, in 2019, that's the roughest my immigration situation has ever been. And I remember like lawyers and people I know, they're like, oh no, but you're fine. Like you're the kind that they want. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like you think it in your mind because you really believe in the foolishness. Oh, you think, oh, because you're a lawyer or whatever it is. No, if you come to America on an F1, that's what people realize. You come on an F1 international student visa, this is all you get. You get 1 year. You're entitled to an OPT that you can work. And if you can't get a job that can sponsor you for a green card, which I want you to know right now is a needle in a haystack. That is hard to do. You are gone. You are out of there. You have no path. It doesn't matter how long you were there, or you think, oh, this person has been there for a long time, or they blend in, or you think that they're a good immigrant. If they have no path, they have no options, they can't do nothing. And all they have a million special carve-outs for white countries, all kinds of different things to make it easy and facilitate on them, like literally different visa categories that exist solely for them. And then other people don't have it at all. And then you paint a narrative. And also, we don't talk about how expensive the immigration system is. The costs associated with immigration applications and all these things are astronomical. You don't get them back. That's one. Two, what happens is if you apply, let's say you have OPT, or you have a work permit, or you have a green card, and you apply to try to renew it, or you apply for something. Once you apply for the thing, you're not allowed to. Once your thing expires, you can't work, right? You can't work and earn money until this thing gets approved. But you're not allowed to go to your own country, go back to your own country, because they will consider your application abandoned, get rid of it, keep the money, but you can't stay in the country and afford to be here and apply for those things. You see how all these different ways is set up to make it impossible. And then on top of that, just legally navigating. I'm an attorney who has been looking at my immigration situation since I was 14, and it's impossible. The average person, the things that I will miss or make a mistake on or something like this, the average person can't navigate that. They can't afford it. It costs so much money. Just to give you an idea, my company now, in the interest of transparency, so y'all can understand just how inaccessible it is. Been here for 15 years. Y'all see the career I had to make for myself to even make it possible that someone could try to sponsor me to try to get me a green card. The immigration fees are $33,000 to hire attorneys to do that. Yeah, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, bro. How are you going to do that? How's the average person going to do that? Who's going to do that for them? It's an impossibly, and then even with the getting married, right? People will be like, oh, just get married for citizenship. One, they don't think about how dehumanizing that is to immigrants, right? You live in a world where everybody could think marriage is so important. You live in a country where people fighting for the rights to get married and all these different things, but fuck, immigrants can't want to have love or anything. That's one. Two, you never think about the angle of what it is to sacrifice that you could never love anybody from your own country. Like, if I know that the only way that I will ever be able to become a citizen in this country is to do it through marriage, even if I make the executive decision that I'll never be someone I get married for citizenship, because that's already too much like too much autonomy I'm given to the US government that already controls me. But but even if I do it, even if I go in, I go and do it, you're not entitled to, it takes 3 to 5 years. You have to apply for 3 to 5 years before you can even apply for citizenship. And it puts all of this in the hands of this other person. But y'all don't know. Immigration is something that's literally dictated my everyday life. Like, it is an incredible stress. Like, you come to a place like New York City and you're not allowed, if you're a foreigner like myself, you're an international visa, there is an understanding that you don't have a US guarantor, you don't have anything like that. It is customary in New York City that they charge people on international student visas, you have to pay like 6 months rent up front to be able to live somewhere. Imagine how you're gonna have the money for that. Your parents have to be able to show a certain amount of financial support or whatever for you to even get a student visa. So if your parents don't have it, even if you get a scholarship. So I got a full scholarship to law school, but in order for me to get a school visa, my parents still need to be able to show that they could pay that entire tuition 4 times over at one given time for you to be able to get a visa. Even though you don't have to, they do so many things, so many hurdles, and make it impossible for you to navigate the situation. And then people think, oh, well, why don't you just do this thing?
Do it legally, yeah. Do through the
system. I'm like, oh yeah, you bet you can. Yeah. Like, I've literally
it's like a one piece of paper.
People have literally tweeted at me like that, like literally like, it's just laziness at that point. Why she just doesn't go become a Actually, the day I become a U.S. citizen, I don't even talk about immigration half as much, because it is incredibly painful, because it's the only marginalized group I wish I couldn't be a part of. Like, I'd come back to life Black every time. I'd be Black, I'd be a woman, I'd be all that shit, but I would not be a fucking immigrant. It's the worst. It's the worst experience. Do you know what it is? Think about all the career opportunities I have. Y'all know I can never accept the money. Until I get a green card and the links I have to go to, I have to just turn down the money. So every time you see me do an opportunity that looks, and people think, so they hate you for all the things that make you visible, thinking that you have all the money and all of this. No, I do everything for free 99, because the US government will be like, get out. How dare, who fucking told you could do no shit? Are you making money, bitch? So, yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, I just wanted
so fucked up. It's ruthless.
Yeah, y'all guys. That's the trials and tribulations for my immigration trauma. Thank y'all for operating as my therapist tonight. Y'all have really done the service.
That was
we should talk more about this. This is like, to have that perspective is really, it's informative for people, I think, to hear that.
Yeah, because people really don't think about this. Like, they don't think how difficult it is to become a citizen. It's just, well, that's their problem. They should have came here legally. Like, and this isn't just like me making a caricature of like the right wing. Like, liberals say this shit too. Like, everyone says this shit. There's like mass ignorance here to it.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, everybody says that. And it's because they don't know. Like, honestly, my friend, like, they just don't know. They're not given that information everywhere. Even when you look in media, it's portrayed as though you just need to go take a test and you're just not taking this test or whatever. So if you're constantly being fed that, you're fed this idea that there are good immigrants who, all the good immigrants are good. They went and applied, and these bad immigrants just don't want to be bothered putting in the paperwork. Then people, they believe that, especially when they're thinking of, a lot of the times too, the people, they're thinking of their family member from times before, who came generation before generation. Oh, they came and they just did the thing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it does not work like that. But you have to see it in application. Like, I have friends, a lot of friends, even attorneys, who they had to literally be my friend for years and watch me go through my immigration struggle to be like, shit, oh, it's bad. It's real, real bad. Like, when my friends actually saw my shit get denied, that's when they realized, I got denied. Just to give you an idea of the experience, when I got denied, And I'd already at this point I'd managed to get like a different visa, but once you get denied on that one, you gotta go. You have to go to the embassy. It's a whole thing. Like so I get there. I'm walking home from Blink Fitness, literally, and I get the email that U.S. has issued a decision. It's a denial, and I have to leave the country. Literally leave the country. The next day you have to leave because once you get denied, you're on a countdown, and if you stay for a certain amount of time, you're blacklisted for a certain. And then, and just to give you an idea how stressful that is, you have to go, even when you're approved, like let's say you apply for a visa and you're approved, you get the approval notice, you still have to go to the embassy and do an interview and basically convince them another time, and they can deny you for whatever reason, whatever person at the thing. And to give you, when I go, so that is the most, I can't tell you how stressful that is. It's 15 years of that. And then you go, this last time when I went to go get my visa, this lady is this old Bahamian lady in front of me who had been living in the US for a long time. She had a green card and she didn't understand the immigration rules or whatever it is. She thought she had to come to the embassy in order to apply. They tell her she needed to do it this time or not this time or come in person. Either way, they tell her no, she can't get it and she can't go back into the US. The woman has lived, this is an old lady who has lived in the US for like in Florida for like 30 years, has a home there, dog there, and they're like, so, well, yep. And that's the shit that you're in there like behind this person, like getting ready to have a stroke because that's what it is. And I've experienced so many other friends and so many Bahamians and so many other people that have come to the US for a certain period of time and really struggled to try to be here to stay. Like it's an impossible journey. I have 5 sisters. I have 5 siblings, and my sister, I have 3 sisters that are just as intelligent, just as decorated and all these different things. My sister Dawn, who was my doctor equivalent, couldn't go to U.S. med school because it's impossible, because the standards for international students, like that, on average, they will only let like 3 to 7 international students into a class, because what's the point if they're not going to be able to get employed after? No one wants to employ them because no one wants to take on the sponsorship of them. So it makes it that much harder to even get into the schools. And for me to be able to get a job, for me to make myself competitive, the fact that I'm still in America, I worked 6 legal jobs in law school. When the average law student, you could only work 1. That's how stressful those are, but you'll make a lot of money. So I had to work a job. I worked 6 like demanding law jobs that would pay you, but I can't accept the pay because it'll violate the terms of my visa. So I'm broke. I'm working to death just to make myself far more competitive than everybody else so that I could still be sitting here talking to you all today. It's insane what the immigration situation is in America. It's really wild. And I've never once in 15 years seen an honest conversation about it on the media or on the news anywhere. It's just the same old tired ass propaganda. It's not even misinformation, because they literally don't tell Americans anything true and honest about how the immigration system works. So,
Jesus.
Monologue wrapped.
No, and the thing here is, why would they tell Americans the truth? Honestly. I mean, let's be real. If they told us the truth and actually gave you the information to a degree is power, and they don't want that because, like we talked earlier, there's corporations that are controlling the interests, and they don't want this.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. It's the same. It's capitalism all over again. Sorry, today's episode has been capitalism ruins everything.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a wild story recently about how like someone was working for one of an immigrant who had a work sponsored visa. I believe that's what it is. Works for one of like the big tech companies and went to visit like family overseas, and got laid off as part of those the big layoffs when they were overseas. And that was it. They no longer had a job. They couldn't come back in the country. It doesn't matter that they had all their stuff here. They were paying for their rent. They had an apartment. They had their whole life here. They were out of the country when they lost their job. So that company was no longer sponsoring their visa. They couldn't come back. I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. That's not even a chance.
Sector, right? Like there was Twitter, Facebook. Like how many tens of thousands of jobs for people from other countries?
Right, but this person, I'm sure there was others too, but this person whose story I heard online just happened to have been overseas when the layoffs happened and they lost their job, and that was it. They if they were in the country, I believe there would be an opportunity for them to find another job within a certain amount of time. Still ridiculous. I think they'll give them like 60 days or something. Yeah, but this person, because they were overseas, that's it. No chance to find another job. They are out of here. Yeah. They had to have a roommate sell off all their shit. That was it. Like, that's fucking ridiculous.
I have a friend that just happened to literally over the Christmas. literally just happened to them. It is far more common than you think, and it is miserable. And I also another underknown part of the process is, like, especially as an international student, when you go and you do these interviews at the embassy, you know what they do is they want you to demonstrate to them that you are not attached to America, right? Like, you can't demonstrate any intent to remain. You know, they don't want you any it to appear like you want to stay there, like you want to act like it's. Think about that. People think, oh, you know, apply for citizenship or these different things. You're not even allowed to say you want it down the line. Like if you're not only are you not eligible for it, but if you demonstrate that you want it, that you eventually want to remain in the country, they'll deny you for whatever it is visa that you are eligible. So imagine living in a country. I've lived in America now officially. I'll when I turn 30 in July, I'll have been in America longer than I've been in my own country, and I'm not allowed to talk about the place like it's my home, or like I live here, like I want to stay here. Like I have to treat a place that I've been at for half my life like it's a vacation spot. Like, oh yeah, I just want to breeze by. Like I've been here. I have to, every time I apply for something or you do something, I have to literally go and show them every time, write out every time I've entered and left the country. So for like the last 10 years, as though like I live here. Like imagine trying to track your every move and give them your everything or whatever, because you know, child, you know, that's a U.S. immigration.
It's fucked beyond repair. It's wow.
Yeah, sorry to kill the vibe. I don't remember how we got here. Y'all said immigration, and my brain went off. I'm sorry. Like
it's so important though, because people don't know this shit.
Yeah,
like it's so important.
Like it's very much so something. I'm in the process of in a process now, and it's very daunting. Like, and you know, and listen, I'm blessed in comparison to both that you even have an option now. God, you know, whatever. But just to give you an example of how tedious it can be, like I had to spend a weekend, or honestly a couple months, compiling every single time I've ever been referenced in the news, like in every media appearance or whatever it is. Yeah, in order to show them, to be able to prove, to demonstrate this, my every award, my every this. Do you know how it's like, oh, great, thank God you managed to develop a career enough that makes you, that you could even pursue this. But now do you hear what that task is? Because you have the career that you can pursue this? I'm sweating bullet, like the level of work that is. Then you have to go beg people like, hey, you're an important person that knows me. Would you be willing to write a letter saying that I'm a good alien? Like, could you say I'm a good noodle? Like, please. Like, please.
Are they going to be okay that you're on a show called The Leftist Mafia? Like, is that?
I trust my immigration attorneys better not say that.
We can change the name temporarily, or have a moniker instead.
Yeah.
What is this about your client joining some sort of international crime organization? What's going on here?
Listen, when Trump, under Trump's administration, I think they already changed it back, but Trump had enacted a policy that we had to give up our social media accounts. Like suddenly as a part of the application, we have to give up our social media accounts. I'm like, this motherfucker, like, yo, like that's something. Listen, people don't think about that. What it is, it's an undersold aspect of my experience. Like my being an immigrant is really at the forefront of my day-to-day. It really controls and dictates my life. But people don't, you know, they just completely eliminate it. They just eliminate it. You know, that's the cost of assimilating well, right? People, you blend in, but it's really a real life stress. That's something people don't think into, even when they bother to think of the kind of work I do and the kind of job I do, and they do get to the point of thinking of like the danger of pissing off the police and the mayor as one Black woman, all these different things. I'm like, bro, I'm still not a citizen. Like, you know, the stress that immigrant. My mommy calls me on a regular basis, like, could you please? Like, she's like, I mean, you are not straight. You are not straight in that country to be saying this about da 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 da. And this is the next thing. So there's an added level. Of something it adds to my life as an immigrant, as somebody that is still going through an immigration process and is still and will forever be at the mercy of the U.S. immigration country, the decision to do the kind of work that I do. And I was thinking about that even with this, because it's like, oh, great, you have all these important people that will, you know, vouch for you as a national advocate against the criminal system and, you know, and a proponent of abolition. Like, Will they love that? not so sure, but integrity, right? So yeah, being it really is hard. Trust me, my future children gonna hear it every day. Every day they're gonna hear about the U.S. citizenship I bless them with. Every day, my sacrifices. You look at you, an American. Don't say nothing to me. Don't say nothing to me. Because y'all know my mother was actually in America at the time that she was pregnant with me.
No.
Oh wow.
That should count.
What?
Yeah, that should count.
Oh, let me tell you what this woman did. Oh, this is the deep. This is the source of me and my mama's tension from in the womb. Oh, my mama. Listen, I call her up like every few months just to tell her she don't have no long-term vision. I'd be like, I don't even know what is wrong with you. Like, what is wrong with you? She was getting her master's in the U.S., which means she had enough to know the difficulty imposed on one in America, being in America as an immigrant, and enough to suggest that, hey, it's also kind of likely, it's possible that my daughter too might end up in the States for school as I am in the States for school. My mother got on a plane against medical advice. Like, it's not even like she went early in her pregnancy. No. When it was like too late, when she was like, it was dangerous, it was risky, she was not supposed to. She went out of her way to like hide her pregnant belly and like do all this shit or whatever, and went to the Bahamas just so she could fuck my immigration situation up. Every time I think about it, I want to square up. Every time I think about it, I want to square up. When she told me that, I was like, you are the gift that keeps on giving money. Like, ooh, my mommy don't even like the Bahamas.
Why did she? What was something happening? Like, why'd she come back?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Was it insurance? Like, what the fuck?
She had me, left with my Grammy, and went back to the States.
Oh my God.
Listen. Ooh.
Just so you can become a citizen.
Listen,
I'd be pissed too.
My mommy. I love my mother, and I love my mother daily. But my mommy is my daddy's second wife, and I just want to say his first wife had my big sister in the States. She wasn't even going to school there. She went there, had her child there like a good, sensible woman, and then went back to the Bahamas. My mother. My daddy's second wife, different choices.
I'm guessing you bring that up to her occasionally.
All the time. Sometimes I just be on a walk and I just think about her choices and I call her and I'm like, I'd be like, you know, mommy, this shit that you did when I was a child that I thought was fucked up, and you were really stupid, and you would tell me, oh, when I'm an adult, and now as a grown woman, I can say it's really fucking stupider than I ever thought. Like, now that I have all the information, what? And she's a revisionist. Listen, revisionist history. Revisionist history, because she'll perpetrate like she just somehow didn't know, like she didn't realize like all the constraints in America by being an immigrant or being Black. But I remember a little story. She used to run into the ground. This story about her going to get an apartment, and the woman on the phone thought she was white. And was like, oh yes, absolutely available. And when she got there, she wouldn't give it to her. And I was like, that seems like evidence. Seems like evidence that you had enough information to make different choices, but you're a goofy lady. And now I am paying the price. Okay, so yeah, my children, I'm gonna have them in America, and every day I'm gonna say, and now what do we say to mommy?
So you want children.